Welcome back to the Sports News. With me now is Bob Jores from the Middleton High School. He's the athletic director, and Tim Simon, who's the head football coach. Thanks for joining us today, guys.
Thanks, Stacy.
Coach Simon, how many years have you been the football coach at Middleton High School?
I just finished my 11th year as the head football coach, but I was an assistant coach before that.
I bet you've seen a lot of changes.
There have been quite a few. I mean, the athletes, I think, of all sports are bigger, faster, stronger than they were years ago. I think the main difference is the academic demands on the kids. So we have to really streamline our practices, make sure that we respect their time, that we make sure that we're efficient when we're on the field or in the classroom with film work to make sure that they have time to study when they get home.
So, Coach Simon, you mentioned that football numbers have grown. What do you attribute that to?
I think there's a couple factors. One, we're big into multiple sports at Middleton High School. 11 of our coaches on staff actually coach another sport. So we really promote not just our own football program, but we promote taking advantages of all the clubs and activities and music and athletic programs that we have, so the kids know that we genuinely care about them. I think that's a big part of why kids are deciding to play the sport of football.
So Bob, what does Middleton do as far as focusing athletes? Do they focus them on just one sport only, or do they try to get them interested in more than one?
No, definitely. Just the opposite, as Mr. Simon was saying. We have probably, on an average, about 125 to 150 kids that are out for 3 sports, which is unique in this day and age. But all of our coaches push and try to get all of the kids to get out for as many different athletic events as they can. We think that it helps build a well-rounded athlete, as well as helps in the other sports that they're not presently participating in. So as he says, our coaches also get involved, and we've done a nice job. Probably also 400 to 500 kids that are in at least 2 sports.
You know, we've actually followed our football program numbers over the last couple of years, and it's not out of the ordinary for 80% of those kids to be playing at least one other sport.
Wow, that's great. That's great. Bob, nowadays it seems like everyone's worried about concussions. What can you do to grow football numbers in that kind of environment?
Well, that is a big scare always, but it's just not football. I think we need to educate that concussions are something that we're learning about, and they're happening, but they're happening in all sports. Obviously, the risk is a little bit higher in football because of the speed of the game, they're hitting, but we've done a very nice job of educating both our coaches, having our coaches educate our kids on proper techniques of how to hit, as well as the parents educate them and say, hey, these are the signs and symptoms. If there's a concussion, we want to know about it so that we can deal with it. We also, out of those concussions, we probably had about 45 school-wide, well, athletic-wise last year, and 9 of them were actually outside of the athletic arena, somebody falling off a bike or something like that. So those signs and symptoms with the parents, they're catching that, we're able to work with them. We also have an athletic trainer that comes in, well, she's with our program every day, but she'll resize and put more air, fit the helmets to the athlete's head a little bit better. And I know Coach Simon on the varsity level had no concussions this year.
So. Yeah, went the whole year. And I think going back to your first question of how it's changed in 12 years, how we teach the game is much different now, because safety's always been a premium, but I think because of the way the media's handled concussions in football and other sports, you know, we've educated ourselves as well. So how we tackle, how we do drills, how we block, how we teach those things and the proper technique is much more instructive and safe for the kid now than maybe it was a dozen years ago.
Well, thanks so much. That's good to know that a lot of progress is being made on that. We're almost out of time here. Thank you very much for joining us. Earlier, Ryan had the opportunity to talk to Matt Bessler and Graham Zuzi from USA MLS Soccer. We'll have that and more coming up next.